Okay, Fambulem, I bring a warm greetings to Una from the then and now media empire, where we now call T and N TV for short. We still remain the then and now media empire, but we try for abbreviator and more appealing to people. So it's now T and N TV Media Empire One. Today, now the 23rd of January, is a Sunday, 2022, first month in the year, and we not even begin waiting with the anticipate for do for the rest of this year. As soon as go notice, I've been missing for quite a while. There are a couple of reasons, and I can give you a brief on some of the reasons on why I've been missing for a number of days now, maybe 2 weeks. So we dey work on many new scripts, and the channel they try for evolve. We're working on so many things, and una go see them as we broadcast tonight. We dey broadcast on simultaneously both on Facebook and on YouTube. So YouTube viewers them will get the chance for the first time for watch we simultaneously without having to resort to Facebook page, or we know having to upload the page or convert them to MP4, transfer them to YouTube. So simultaneously, we're not going for watch we, because after all, we do have a huge presence na YouTube, and we clock about 1.5 million minutes. I believe it's minutes. Just the gone year 2022, and we hope for do more of that as long as we now know say we the broadcast directly to YouTube. So now can watch we simultaneously on TNT TV Media Empire One on Facebook and also on YouTube as I talk. So now can switch over either way I want, because maybe the fix the photo and other things they might not just be right. There are a couple of things I want for today. Just briefly, because the main topic is about the national team, the Leone'S, as how we perceive them na this particular platform. Okay, how we perceive them na this particular platform. For a matter of respect sake, we've been back away because the platform is highly political. We can say that for free. We understand and respect with civil responsibility, and at that we can always try for carry forward. But during this period of the national team, they keep up to the national obligation na Cameroon for the Afcon and the African Cup of Nations. We decide not to be too political, because we self be want for let the country unite as the country be united at the time. Because let members say the fact is the country divided, and sports, especially the national team, the Leon Stars, now it happen for make clear we come together as one. So that brief period, we were together as one, as a nation under the flag green, white, and blue. Then one day when they watch, go no say me flag not too clear, but this na me own flag, this green, white, and blue fully. But if you dey use a green screen and you understand what green screen is, you know say the green on green, now they go along well, and you get forget powerful lighting, you for even get this powerful effect. But I'm proud today that after the Lone Star don't bow out humbly. Not everybody agree, but I think say they bow out humbly. And I want to talk about tonight. I get me green, white, and blue flag for celebrate the Lone Star and talk about few things. Just again, before I go to the few things, I dey ask una, do I wanna let we share this, because people they need for be familiar with the platform. We need for multiply the numbers. I dey ask una please subscribe to the channel. Don't just watch. Try to be critical as well. Just make the criticism constructive. You can tell we what you they anticipate, what you go let for let we do, what you go let for let we say. Not me say we go follow that, but we they listen. Our eyes and ears are open. The channel they evolve, and we get for see a lot. And this not just one of many to come. Fambulem, we know say we national team they out of the African Cup of Nations. And obviously, the brief period where they did it, then got two very powerful games. Let me create a background where they try for do now. Then play very two powerful games in the sense that the two teams then where they play from the opening. Remember, say we not been in Mina. The Mina them, that small buka fish. Now we not been that person they na the table. Because you get the powerful desert warriors, the Algerians were there, and I believe they are the reigning champions. Okay, and then you get the other team where we draw against, where that of Didier Drogba and the Golden Ivorian team of some time ago, not right now, and we play against them, we also draw, which took we to another round for play the third team now we group, what happened for big Guinea-Bissau. Unfortunately, we lost to Guinea-Bissau. I don't want to cry about the losses. Yeah, it's worth, you're talking about waiting we do, waiting have been we exploit, and we need for land from there, no say, even though not be event, but not a one-off event. We can build a team, we can build a soccer nation, not only for exploit them, for when that moment they come, and then we all try for harness them. You can see what in politician and try for do. Because that moment day was a moment for that young national team. But waiting can happen now, politician and begin for get inside, begin for deviate the message to something else. And we don't want a repetition of that. So I go get for talk about that briefly. Again, Fambul and for Una we just to join at the Ask Una once more. This now the TNN Media Empire 1, where they broadcast on Facebook and YouTube live simultaneously as I speak to you guys. So there are the Ask Una let we share because I want to talk about the national team. We are not being get chance for talk about, and a lot of people call me. It's like, why are you not doing something about the national team? Of course, they were right, but many things been they go on at the background, and I've been they do script writing, other personal obligations, and what have you. But I just want for let one know say the then and now is back, and the then and now is here to stay, and the then and now is evolving, and the then and now just they get quality and quality. And we not just they bring anybody na the platform, we they bring people away material to the platform. And henceforth going, this platform is going to be different. Okay. It's really going to be exceptionally kind of different. Um Let me just go back quickly back to the game because that's what I want to talk about. Yeah. In a different format where other people are not believe they be don't talk so about that or not go deeply into that. So I want to talk about the significance of the game. I want to talk about the significance of the sports. I want to talk about the significance of the national team as it apply to the nation. And now we see so. I want to talk about policy. I want to talk about the absence of policy, waiting that policy they mean, or if the policy they in place, why in the work and waiting we need for do for let it work. I want to talk about inadequate investment now this business here we call sports because it's quite a lucrative business. And above all, I want to talk about the recognition of the role of sports now the developmental process of a country before I finally conclude. So it sounds huge, but na small talk. We are one round up in about 1 hour. So we get 21:22. Hopefully by 22:10, I want to wrap up this program. So going back again, Fambul, and let's just again do one quick background. Not too long ago, the national team, the Sierra Leone Stars, qualify for the Nations Cup. And when they qualify for the Nations Cup, understanding what in football mean, the whole nation threw their weight behind the national team. The whole nation threw their weight behind the national team because I will also talk on this in a different, sort of category. And the hopes of a nation rested on this national team. Remember, say a lot is ongoing, whether a social problem, whether a political problem, economic problem, there is a lot go ongoing. So when the national team qualify for the game or the tournament in Cameroon, a lot of people find something for glue onto, for hold onto, for look up to, at least for some kind of inspiration, courage for different reasons. But this was a uniting factor. Unfortunately, after a while, the team began for bow out to Guinea-Bissau after drawing two of the matches with two heavyweights when it comes to African football. And when it even come to FIFA ranking, these two sides were more senior than us. But in football, now the determination, the mindset, the mental strength, now in they make you go beyond many, many things. And then that individual skill and then some degree of luck. Okay. So we don't lose. That's just the fact. We don't lose. And when we don't lose this game, all I be want say is for tell the president thank you. And when I put my flyer out, I know say Yeri from some side, yeah, we kind of upset, I believe. But I want to make another thing clear. Please, Fambulem, I want to let some people know say your enemy is not my enemy and don't have to be my enemy. Neither should your enemy be my enemy. No matter of choice, we get for pick and waiting affect the other side. Your friends or friend don't have necessarily to be me paddy. You paddy not necessarily get for me paddy, if you understand. You paddy not necessarily get for me paddy. So I look at things from a different perspective and very objectively as I see them. That don't mean say I'm not open to criticism or advice. So when I put the thing out, it's like, thank you to the president. So let me make it clear why I say thank you to the president. It is true, first of all, I would say that the president try to make political use of this particular moment. And I say I'm from the beginning, and we need to understand, say, the country been divided along political lines, social lines, tribal lines, regional lines, hugely divided. We politics is polarized now. Another issue where they come up with not next week, in 2 days' time. Identity politics will be not do, but in this segment coming up on Tuesday is our politics tribal? Has it gone tribal or is it going tribal? It's more like a question, but we'll deal with them. But this is the issue because that's where it's coming from. This is what informs the next information we get for come off from the platform. We look at them and say the country is so divided, and so the president capitalized on that. The government capitalized on that. Now, is it a bad thing? To some people, it's yes. To others, it's no. I see it as no. Because, yes, even if the country divided and we find a way on how to unite the country, why shouldn't we go for that option? And the option will present itself quite recently is that of the national team's qualification for go play now a huge tournament, the African Cup. The African Cup tournament is the equivalent of the CONCACAF or South African Cup. I mean South American Cup, or North American Cup, all them region there, they get their own division. So we in Africa, 50 some more nation, is supposed to be huge and even more powerful if we be more organized. What I will talk about small about in this particular segment. But unfortunately not because many things. But when that occasion they come, it becomes a huge occasion. It becomes a divisive affair depending on how government and other entities, regulatory body them, then see them. But in this case, obviously, the government, the reason why I say thank you, the government saw an opportunity and they took the opportunity. The government supported the national team. Of course, it's an obligation that they have to support the national team because why? They carry the flag, green, white, and blue. And above all, it was a unifying moment, a unifying factor. The national team, sports, where I will talk again about briefly, now, one thing we can unify a country, and the moment can become so electric that sometimes when people and they perform, they can feel say them possess or not can know say that in fact at that particular moment they them possess. So this is especially why we want to say thank you to President Bio because it provide the logistics and rightfully so supposed for do that. But the idea it put in weight beyond the national team, provide the wherewithal, the logistics and the support for let the national team go forward and go represent the country. Now, some of you may suspect the president did it, for selfish reason, and you may have your reason. So I don't agree. I don't agree. Because in the end, we all supposed for benefit from that action there as a nation where the president imbibe in as a constitutional duty. So I supported that move. I agree with that move that the weight of the president was thrown behind the national team. That attaches some seriousness to the business where the national team being able to do. So on two occasions, the national team did very well by drawing against giants of the game. Giants of the game, Algeria and the Ivory Coast, only to bow out to Guinea-Bissau. So Fambulem, here is what I want to talk about today. So football, nothing where they provide a united country. Now they make a country united. And in we own game, we know say it's rife with corruption And when they talk about corruption, it's not only ascribed to the now, but also the then. But this is generally waiting ascribed to again. So waiting we don't dey look for and we don't dey call for, although it not dey take full force for you, is for some kind community work for be done in which the people will be involved in the process making, and some regulatory body will go able for look and say, well, the direction outside then they go is right. Now regulation body, because the regulation then they and somebody the way they regulate the regulation for sure say that waiting and they do or waiting we they do is right. We also get for understand Famulem the significance of sports. And another say we don't understand that. Because waiting I can learn this BNTM as to waiting happen pan this game is we do understand the significance of sports, but we need to utilize them in the way how we supposed to utilize them so it become beneficial to us as a people and a country and a government. Because governments time and time again will try for use the occasion just for Ghana support, for deviate, yeah, the people and mentality from something which might not be going right, and use that occasion day, whether now 1 week, and if that euphoria they last, it play to them benefit. But if it's not sustainable, what is the use? And this is the question here tonight. If it's not sustainable, what is the use? So it's a gimmick, it's a trick played by governments over not only us, but many other governments, especially in the African settings. Now, would that know me as a Pan Africanist? No, say I speak the truth and I speak heavily on the truth, and I need a compromise them. And I don't speak disparagingly of African countries, neither condescendingly or in a patronizing fashion to my fellow African countries or authorities them. But what we say, we just know that it's a fact. So if we understand, say, sports now one particular area of human interaction, where if we respect the rules, if we apply teamwork, if we go by all them codified norm then the way that they put into the rules, example, fair play. Una no think say we go excel because we dey approach them with an independent mind. We dey approach them with a resolute mind, a resilient mind that we have to succeed. So therefore, for succeed, we have to abide by all the rule there. It involves teamwork. It involves cooperation. It involves we for abide by the rules. We for respect others, respect opponents as much as we respect we own people the way they play for we, because there are a few incidents will happen in which one or two of the players or players within the national team they attack them property them their homes. You go hear people and they say, well, yeah, people and get for release that steam day, but even if they get for release that steam day, doesn't make it right. And I just they wonder why, if they can pull that steam day, but people that will make sacrifice for go play. And in the game of play, anybody can win, but the better side, yes, go prevail. But somebody else responsible for the better side. So we just get a short preparation day inside a window, then give we money during that period day, and then we expect for take heaven up there and bring and come down on earth. And then when it not happen, now the player then now that you go for we give them all now the field. I don't see that. I wish we can direct that kind of energy, negative energy towards politicians them when are the cause of we own problem. But today we want to talk about sports. I get a program they come on Tuesday and we will talk about that. And there's so much for talk about. Fambul and this and the then and now media platform, and me where they talk to una today, na my name Prince Emil Kroma, when I wanna host and presenter, and we they talk about the bowing out of the national team gallantly. I'm not saying not to everybody agree, because there were people who have been expecting where we will take the point against Equatorial Guinea. Equatorial Guinea is not really a bad side, and then get oil money. We not get oil money, but we try. We supported with team, and with team, yeah, qualify and go there and make history. They made history. Then survive against the Desert Warriors of Algeria, the reigning champs. Then also survive against Didier Drogba's Ivory Coast, only for bow out. So I can understand, but I don't support the violence and intimidation tactics towards people that we play for the national team. So like I've been they say, sports now an area of where we all can kind of interact. At that moment where it happened, you see what happened? Government minister, head of parastatals, Yana boy, people that they sell on the sidewalk, Kool-Aid, and what have you, back, junks. We all became one. We all dance, we all sing, we all sweat, we all jack for the national team. That's what the national team does. The reason why they lay emphasis on this is because then government can do more, not for only pay attention to the moment, not only the moment, but also on a long-term basis, something more sustainable. You see, because the importance of sports, it has to be sufficiently appreciated by the government. I repeat, the significance of sports has to be appreciated by government. And when governments they do anything there, enough will be one of there has to be a program. And that program the government get for integrate them into other national development plans. Because if you integrate them into national development plans, not only that sport industry they flourish, if you understand what in sport mean, how all encompassing it is, but many other area within the body as well, or the body politic of the country. It's a program, it's a national program. Okay. So you definitely know say that when it comes to the game, no doubt, no good day, that the game they play a critical role, or there we overcome barrier where we get politically, socially, and economically speaking. Because as we see, not to the first time, all the time it happen, it's a uniting factor. Football is a uniting factor. That's what it does. So government need for the pay attention seriously to that. Now we'll talk about a little bit of a policy. I can always, make noise on the platform, say, me a policy person. So when I talk about programs, I can always want to talk a little bit about policy. So we know say we country get some policies them when it comes to sports. Of course, just like many other countries, we country definitely get policies them when it comes to sports. But then policy there, not a policy then where they hold water, and this is not a major problem. The policies are either, balkanized, broken into bits and pieces, in which maybe the Ministry of Youth responsible for one aspect of them, and the same policy, some aspect of them is responsible by that of the sports ministry, and probably another parastatal, and then another MDA, and another powerful minister, and another government minister, and another political apparatchik. So you see how fragmented then it then become and how uncoordinated it then become. Then what you get for look at now in this case is if this is the situation, what in this mean? Which means that it becomes ineffective. It wouldn't work because the way it was designed, the application of it, the methodology of it is not being applied. So therefore, it's not going to work. And at that time they happen. Time in and time out, year in and year out. That's what's happening. The ministry where they in charge of sports, what you are the try for say is always go get some interference from above. So instead of policy they prevail, instead now what they come out some side in we own balance where we can say word from above. And this cannot be right. It just cannot be right. So when you find out now, we sports continue for suffer because policies we suppose for be the framework for which we go use for attain the objective is kind of broken up. And not get no coordination because X they talk under, Y they talk under, state house somebody connected to the president they say under and what have you. So I still lay on policy, but I want play. I want to take a quick commercial break. When we take this quick commercial break, when we come back, we go say one or two, three things quickly, and then we go make a break.
It shock you.
Wow, I like the setup and decor. Quite impressive.
You've not seen anything yet. Wait until you taste the food.
I can't wait.
In a sense,
money make him
Look at that.
I am sharper than knife, I am sharper than nail. Them are small like ant, I am bigger than whale. When Baba God don't lift you up, nobody will make you jump. Nobody will
in Brixton, we do more of African food and seafood as well. In Peckham, we do more of African food.
A reception or function of any type, this is the place to do it. Just do your booking on time and we can do catering for you.
Right, Fambulem. So una see and for una self. I mean, we get many promises of people them we intend for advertise with us as una see. We now get access for simultaneously broadcast to 30 channels at the same time or platforms at the same time. For now, we dey utilize 2. Probably with next broadcast, we might utilize 4 or 5. We're very paramount to us because we're not just the broadcast because we get this opportunity, but we dey look at where the body of our people who watches us, because we get the analytics, they watch us from. But the advert one I just see is that of Mingles international franchise. The brother is one of the people, and they actively support this platform, and we're very proud of him. Not only because he's supporting the platform, but what he says is what he does. If you're gonna enjoy it, you need to go see yourself. All we do is encourage you that you go there. We get few other people and we say they go advertise with us any day in the making because they need for do a video and what have you, and we still wait for the video. On that same note, we want for appeal to people and for understand say community cohesion, what we talk about in terms of sports, is also applicable in different aspects of societal values. Some modern societal norms that we don't develop means that we get for cooperate with each other in different ways, but somehow they interrelate. If I come on, I go buy cassava leaf, that cassava leaf money there, you they take them, you go buy pepper. And so the money just they go. So we say when they do the broadcast, there are fees. There are fees. You know, your time, talking time and other equipments and other things, it does cost money. So I make we appreciate this brother and all the one that we've been on promising and go advertise with we really they look forward to that, and we're not going to give up. I just talked to 2 more again today, and I believe say this year there's going to be differences. Even appearance fee is going to be on this platform. Airtime is value time, it's talking time, is value time, not a free talk. Okay, so definitely the evolution is on. Make I play one video quickly before I continue with this program, but the video is related to the program.
Now for talk to them boys they have a force.
I have no doubt you promised me and you are delivering.
Yes!
I told you were going into that field as lions.
Yes!
The lion can never give up to an elephant.
Yeah! Yeah!
All right, Fambulem, welcome back to the program. This is a TNN Media Empire platform. For the very first time, we stream live to 2 platforms simultaneously. So those of our 2,000 plus supporters, subscribers, now YouTube, you can now watch us. You don't have to wait until we upload a video. So now we do on live, so you're able to watch on live now as we speak to you. And that goes to the massive number of supporters and fans that we have on Facebook. So simultaneously, we are on Facebook as well. But yeah, one of the YouTube people, them will not forget for subscribe. When you watch, use the handles, them use the emoticons, express something, tell us something, and continue for subscribe and share the message. Yeah. Okay, the video I just play is that of it's very personal, and the reason why I play 2 things. One, I want to forget about the first lady. When I say forget about I mean the lady is she's a complete actress. We need to understand this by now. A complete actress. We get opportunity for see a home video of the president casually in the company of his family and friends. And he asked for, let you see the president so relaxed and in that atmosphere where they very rare moments. Yeah, I've kept this in my archive and it's going to be there for years. Laughing, yeah, and outright, but pushed by the first lady. Say something to these boys. The only thing was say she's an actress, so don't forget about her. It become cheesy the way how we play them over. Ooh, that was acting, but the president was genuine. He was enjoying the moment. Just watch his body language. He was enjoying the moment. If he was pretending, then that's top class acting. But in me own mood, I believe say he was genuinely excited for many reasons. Back again to policy where I've been talk about. The policy then what we get where they exist, if they're not old enough or we need for authorize a review, like government need for authorize a review, and then look into them. Okay. So that we go able for understand waiting need for be adjusted. The ministry and the department then where they in charge of sports, then also they suffer from underfunding. Not to where game they come or where tournament they come, that State House in its powerful, all encompassing power, go direct the consolidated fund or the Ministry of Finance for appropriate budget for that particular event day. Now they say, though it's an event, but this is also a process. Sport is a process. Now make you get a ministry. So these things need to be worked out. Maybe some of them policies are then old or they're not just being effected. So government, you really need for look into this. Okay? Underfunding. Now, big thing. Because sometimes if you provide the fund itself, you end up in a minister in pocket or other people in pocket. I'm not saying this is what's happening, but money needs to be available for them projects there. Funding needs to be available for them project there. Not only wait for game that you want make the name say where the people and they go there now you pull the money. No, it doesn't have to come to that. No, I fundamentally disagree. Okay, so inside salon we know say we get boku challenges, boku challenges. Now, when the national team can qualify, we can do over the top. The hypocrisy one not like is while we people and they enjoy that moment today because now moment for them actually. Government officials, politicians, both government and opposition, then try for steal the moment. They all try for be part of that limelight day. The question would be, waiting on a due during that period day. You see, this now make I tell Mother Bio thank you, but I dey expect more. This thank you I say so, Papa, I get for whole you tranga at some point and see whether this is sustainable or this, like Englishman say, it was just a dip in the frying pan because of the moment you capitalize on it. Because it's going to take another 2 years again. Probably you're not going to pay attention to that. All you're going to do now is probably wait 2 years they reach. And then if you still lay around, you play around that. And then whatever, your support or merit goes to you. All I'm saying here, it should not be the way. It shouldn't be this way at all. All the sport people them at some point can give them all, and government just need for support them. That support now they need. The country the way you see they do well soap and sports, sports encompass different things. If you know the football we talk about, but we also like when we go school and salon, sports now be a huge issue. Inter-school sport, intersect out in column, and what have you, go now all in sports ground and go perform in different kind of sports. So support need for day is sustainable support, not one off. So we don't support them people and they when challenges then come, we are unable for support them. Then because we can't support them, we can't upkeep them. These are supposed to be top prime athletes, sportsmen, and where they perform, challenge other people. Them now different arena internationally. Remember, the world is one village. But unfortunately, it's not like that because in we own arena, we need to support them people there. How we supposed to support them. So what we need to do intersect, we've been able to identify talents where we can able to push further. These things don't happen on that basis day anymore, as I understand. Funding not even there. So now knee-jerk reaction now we can base them on. Hence, this is not policy. Policy is a sustainable thing, that's something where they design. You look at more time, both then and the now, and see going further how sustainable it could be and what we can get from out of it. We go benefit the particular area where they talk about. In this case, sport as a whole, and government and the nation in its entirety. That's what we are talking about. Unfortunately, it's not the case. We wait for a knee-jerk reaction. So we all them people and they don't come out offline, we don't can see them, they don't do their sport because we not support them. All man go back because work is there to be done. If you are not supported, let we say you're not the child of a farmer, and are you they help you daddy for farm so that others go benefit from that, both the nation and your siblings who that ever in another family, including yourself because you get for go school, but you get extraordinary talent. And upline usa you come out or some other place usa you come out for come to a national talent competition. The reason we make you can't in fact now because you confirm down yonder, so they can't look at una generally. But once them people in there don't come where they don't perform down, that's the end. Everybody get for go back. Regardless of how good you are, you ended up going back now. Your village you say you come out, now your tongue you say you come out. If na family you go do one missing talent. And if we count the entire country, multitude of talents gone. In a global village, now the world now they refer to so, a global village in which hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars is being made in the sports to which we can be a part of because every time when there is a national sport which unites the world, which demands that those that are qualified, confirmed, competent can participate, we have not done our due diligence by promoting a team and keeping them up and supporting them so that in 2 years' time, in 3 years' time, in 4 years' time, let's say for the World Cup, for example, the national team. Now, every 4 years, the World Cup. Every 2 years, the African Cup. But now, over a period of time, we practice all them things there because you have to be prepared. We don't. As a consequence of policy where either exist, is fragmented, or is uncoordinated. Sport is also something, you know, in terms of governance, we stand for good. Respect for the rule. We get for be respect for the rule, fair play, honesty, and discipline. But the interesting thing here is with sport ministry, they suffer from poor governance. I repeat, with sport ministry, they suffer from poor governance. The various people, them official, the way they serve now, them particular ministry, there are them various sporting something the way supposed to be some coordination for the bigger game. You know, whether or not the federations or the organization, the manager them where they Fambulen, how trained are they? Because sometimes a political appointment, remember say they not get political, fundamental training in that aspect of them discipline there where when in the head. Then you go put in there. If you put in there, what do you expect? Nana calamity. That area there is not going to go forward because the head has no understanding of it, has no clue of it, has no intention, for taking further. Because one of the reasons why they put on there that for just have a look, make money there, and the rest of it. So the thing that they develop in the end, it dies. In the end, it dies. And this is what's been happening. And this has been the contribution of the disintegration of we society on many fronts. Remember, it's not only the political, the social, the economic, the very fabric of the society. These are the things that are supposed for cement we, for glue we, for act as a community, national, social cohesion, so that we understand each other, respect each other, share some common values. No, it's no longer this. No longer at all. Okay, so then people that were there, their administrator there, their manager there, not a better people them. They just put them there because of political connections. Has no inclination for do the job. In most cases, they not even sabi the job, no get no interest. In fact, the reason why they put them there is different, just like I say. So you can see that waiting I just say so, it they in clear display where they go on an international arena. Fambulem. When they go on an international arena, it's clear. You they see and the level of disrespect where they can show to them, you go and get upset, but now how they conduct themselves. Because before going there, you have to understand what in really you they go there for. What really they go there for? What are you heading? What in are you discussion there? But if you don't understand, pardon me, if you don't understand any of that, then that in itself is a problem, isn't it? So, Fambulem, I mean, I can go on and on. We get a few more minutes for our wrap up. But I want to we understand this. And this obligation is every one of us. It's ours for capitalize on. Don't We should never allow ourselves to be divided on them political, ethnocentric, ethno-regional, ethno-tribal lines. What is supposed to prevail above all everything else is the nation under the flag green, white, and blue. Sorry, when I need to see the green because I use green room tech. Now that nine supposed to prevail. Everything else is secondary. Primarily, it's the country. So we make these appointments with people who are not competent at all. No inclination for the job, no qualification for the job, no understanding of the job, and then we take them for pudding day. What happens is what we've been seeing, the deterioration, the degradation, the breaking up of the republic. When I say the republic, everything that makes the republic, the structures that make the republic. So that one side just continue for be powerful, which is the head of state, the state house, where everything else they come up from. Because then it become political appointment, and then the appointment they come up, okay, you go ahead yonder. Why? Because you know me yonder. You go make yonder. Because why you know me yonder? Even though you not get no clue about the job. So what you expect? A breakdown of the society. Complete breakdown. Okay. And I mean they say sports now something we stand for good governance. And we forget then transparency and international corruption perception index. If you look at them, you will see say when they grade some of the grading is also part of this way we not can actually look at because we can just look at the political structure and directly political inclination attitudes. That's what we look at. We're not can tend for local sport, but we forget say one FIFA say no um, how do you call it? No interference, no intervention in sports by politicians or politics. Sports should remain neutral. If one can remember, not too long ago, probably a little over 2 years ago, the then chief minister, Professor David Francis, was involved in a long-running saga with Aisha Johansson. The woman will understand the position we occupy and they read the rules to a professor. The professor became so arrogant, thought, yeah, this was government business, this was professor business. He made a couple of very embarrassing statements publicly, which are to his detriment, and those statements are well documented. And the Sierra Leonean people have already adjudicated on that. They know who was on the wrong and who was on the right. And this was a professor from Bradford University that was taking those stands, which was deeply arrogant and ignorant, showed no understanding. But what happened was Aisha Johansson schooled him well. He had the power, but beyond his powers domestically, there was a huge power, a bigger power, which was FIFA, which said no political interference. And a day I want go so now when it comes to the money business, where they make that professor they go jump inside this entire thing. So when we talk about facilities, organizing a tournament, and because we're in a FIFA country, FIFA represented country Sierra Leone, we are part of FIFA, so we they get funding from FIFA for provide and make we facilitate them ready for other people that we get for can play with. Because remember, then inter sports business, whether not football, people that get for can check at Steven Stadium and you get for meet the standard, and FIFA get responsibility so you can provide more money. So there's huge money that come to a nation sporting facilities. Now I make you hear all these talk na slaffer. Imagine you get a body we're supposed to be responsible for football, where for they communicate with the rest of the world, they send a fax or whatever. They barely have an office. Now somebody in Pala. And in that Pala, they do not even get a fax machine. An international organization not get a fax machine. But money they come up from FIFA, they can't down. Then you have to ask yourself, what's the problem? Fabula just they try for highlight few of them problem there where we get. We know say we people them and we see them waiting happen. Then let football like hell. Maybe they say that energy they want to get. Why want to know direct than to them politician where they thief the money. And they should. And me encourage them they actively. Because when they for direct and to people and we can make sacrifice. Okay, Kamara miss penalty, but anybody can miss penalty, and we don't say miss penalty will feel them. But does that warrant the vandalism of the money owes? No, I don't agree with that at all. So we also get for we also get for recognize the the recognition of the role of sports pan development, and I talk about them briefly. That are the importance of sports. A lot of African governments, let we put them straight. You see, I make a commend the president, even though it was a moment for him. Let us see whether I will play one video quickly. I'm not sure. Okay,
For so many years we don't struggle. So many things we don't happen. For so many years we've been left out. Darling, just as we say shout out. For so many years we don't struggle. So many things we don't happen. For so many years we've been left out. My darling, just as we say shout out. It takes you, it takes me to make this history. So that we all come together, that we all this victory. It takes you, it takes me to make this history. So that we all come together, that we all this victory. We are it.
okay, Fambulem. I don't let go of me national flag. Yeah. This is my daughter and I'm and I've done there for a while. That's how nationalistic I am. But just going back again to the video I just played briefly, that show you the momentum. And before I come to the end, and waiting I've been to talk about for tap into the significance of them, how people like can get dragged, get carried away, get embodied, emboldened to this national cause when it comes to sports, to football, and therefore why there is a need for let we promote them, and in so doing, we can also profit from this kind of an action where we would take, because why? You're galvanizing a nation of 7.5 million people towards one affair, one event. But we get for stop for Lucam as a single event which just they happen at a particular period, but rather as a continuous event where we can tap into for community and country cohesion and the development of good governance and sustainability and the making of money in the sense that some people are going to make more than the other, but there is always going to be something for everybody in this kind of stuff. Because waiting happen is when the national team qualify, you go find out, say, I wasn't in Freetown, for example, but I've been there before when similar things happen. If you go to a park area and other area, them people then go fix their small merchandise, whether na lily scarf or lily hat or lily wristband with the national colors and what have you, then go sell them for lily 5,000 and you don't get cookery money. Imagine that try for take the burden away from government, because people are involved, economically involved. They try for create an economic, and the money they go around, mind you, and somebody else, they print them flyer than they, or they print them band than they, instead they get in lily cut. Now, so no more the thing they go around, whether na cap, whether na hat, whether na flags, and what have you. It's a huge money-making entity. Why we need for pay attention to them, not in a selfish way for let we get privately rich, so we put the money in our pockets, but how it can create community cohesion and then the recognition of the development of what it can do. And one of the areas there where we also know say sports can help is that of health. This is important. And you see the money factor and development and good governance. When people are involved in sports, Fambulem, it make a nation healthy. People and they run, people are excited, so they heart they beat, people and they sweat, and people are involved. So it's a kind of healthy exercise. So it can play a critical role in terms of health. It can also play a critical role in terms of attaining peace And I'm not making this up. We saw this. The nation was divided prior to the Nations Cup. During the Nations Cup, the nation was held spellbound by the Twinkle Twinkle Leone'S. Qualified first game, second game, only to go out on the third game. But we see the tension. We saw how a whole nation was glued to their TV or whichever way they may get for subscribe, for support, for show solidarity. We saw it. We saw the outburst of euphoria when they draw them 2 games. Them street burst into ecstasy, and not only in Freetown or Sierra Leone, but also internationally. I get some video then I went and play all in Scotland and Spain and France, where white people themselves were into this. And probably before I end this particular video, I might like to play something, here from the CNN for just show how much of this had taken the world by surprise. How much of this are taking the world by surprise? Because normally, and that been in at the CNN segment, anytime when they talk about we Sierra Leone, something negative. Either about Ebola or waiting at this new one name, COVID-19 or what have you. But in this case, it was completely different. A new history was being written by a group of young Sierra Leoneans. Them, of course, you can get some veterans and they like Kai Kamara, but a group of young Sierra Leoneans that were doing extremely, extremely well on the football front. And that football front, Deso, it do the nation well in the sense that the whole nation rose to what the national team meant for them at the time in terms of unifying a country which was divided, deeply divided on political lines, on economic lines. Things were not going well at all. That's just a fact. So probably this could be a good reason why governments not will just end their support now because the Leone Stars are out. Government not will just end their support because the Leone Stars are out. Then go rather continue or try for continue their support because it's absolutely necessary for let them do so, because in so doing, it promotes community cohesion. It really promotes community cohesion. So I believe, say, the government, just they ask, the government should kindly continue with their actions there. They should, because it helps the nation. And like I've been saying, Fambulem, this is quite important. As we come to the end in the last few minutes of this segment, football na money. Football na money. Sport activity can help for improve we self-esteem as a people. I repeat, and the reason why I repeat this because it's so essential. It can help for improve with self-esteem as a people. Imagine all along, all in the area between Ebola and pandemic and this and that and war and cotton and cut fruit and what have you. And suddenly we are on the world stage for something positive, something that has captured the imagination of billions of people. I think we are about 8 billion people in the world now. So there was a serious number of people watching the African Cup of Nations around the world. And certainly I can put the number to billions, not the 8 billion, but at least 1, 2, 3 billion must have been watching because football is a huge sport. And when it comes to Africa, there's this developing interest. So a huge number of people were watching. And here was the green, white, and blue boys carrying the flag of a nation whom previously had only been known for issues that were negative. And here they are playing football, going against the Desert Warriors of Algeria, the reigning champs, and, attaining a draw with them. And Didier Drogba's, the Ivory Coast, another draw. But bow out to the Equatorial Guinea, our fellow West Africans. Okay? But that is not the end. What we need for do is how to inculcate the opportunity them into a sports program. How for first of all call for a review, and this was my question. So yes, now we are out. What have we done? Has a commission been commissioned for have a review or look into waiting happen na the Cup of Nation? How we come out? What can we do next time not for come out? What can we do with sporting population, with team? How can we build a team? How can it be sustainable? I remember I had an interview with Musa Tumbo, a great player. I saw him in the Cup of Nations and I was so excited and I wish that they had just played him. They didn't play him, yeah, much as I would have loved, but when they played him, we saw the difference. That coming back from the Ivory Coast for the next round was due to him. I'm not saying personally because, it's 11 players. Everybody had a contribution. But looking at that goal, it just shows how much of a striker he is, how quick he is. Because you had to be quick to bring that ball down, and do what Musa Tumbo do with the ball. But we get for understand, say, football they unite all of these things, and football na huge money and it can help we all, here for benefit from them, whether not from we personal health, whether not from some other benefit them, whether not job creation, because when you put money in there, when they play football, when they get at the money need for go around equally. If not somebody they sell banner gear and your money, because now so the economy they run, money they all side. Because imagine if you organize your stadium and the stadium is fresh, then people then go turn up. Musa Tumbo asked by interview, because I think I asked him a direct question. Can't remember the exact question again, but it was something like, what would you like to see about the FA and etc. And I think few of the things that were mentioned was, and this is it, and this is quite important. I mean, the young man gets it. He gets it. They don't necessarily get for being on time. It can be another time, but he say we need more sporting facilities. Who says that other than people that we understand exactly what they need? And he plays the game, even though to an administrator, but he does understand that. Say we need more sporting facilities. So we not get for bill like the likes of Shaka Stevens stadiums, 30,000, 60,000 seater. Of course, if we do have money, we can. But now they get all kind portable and mobile stadium them where you can build. So you can find and expand space where you can come and can carpet them with grass and build some artificial stadium where you can fold and even move other places. Yes, we can, for goodness sake. So merchandise they also there. Once the game they on, whether na cap, whether na ashtray, whether na coffee mug, I get them plenty in all time, then they send them to me. Whether na trusses, then we cargo pants them, whether na wristband, whether na the flag. There are so many things, and all them things they are cost money. So as you they sell yonder, and so the money they go around now the economy, and people are fine. So you not just the look up to government, but government can create the wherewithal, the environment. Not on a selfish basis, say you want to take the accolade. You don't speak of that for yourself. Yeah. What I mean, don't, go into self praises. Let other people praise you, because the action is there and other people can acknowledge that. Forget about the condemnation, because other people definitely will see that you're doing brilliantly well and they will say, no, 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 I'm not having it. In conclusion, Fambulen, it's about the benefits of the game. It's good for me, it's good for you. Me health, just from this game, that holla, hey, Rosa, I believe it make me healthy because it get me heart going. Psychologically, it put me in the right state of mind where the country qualify 1 or 2 term. Yes, it did. But this potential, it is far from all let we realize them, but not to impossible task. Not to impossible task. But if we need for succeed tomorrow, we need for begin today. So the team don't go, it don't come. What have we done? Everybody go back again on them basics. I expect say that a commission will be set up, that a review committee will be set up, how we went into the Africa Cup, how we got knocked out, why, what can we do next time for avoid them or for even go further, what in government need for do, appropriate budget, logistics, and etc. You see, this one-off event is good. Okay, for qualifying, I give you a 1-1 host. I remember Samuel Doe, I was in Monrovia many, many years ago. Samuel Doe was doing those same tactics. So it be able for galvanize them boys then they for the event. It did have an impact, but there was not a national project for sustainability well thought out through in terms of policy. But the boys then know say, well, The president said today, this game if we win, would they get 1-1 or 1-1 motoka or 5-5, 10,000 dollars. So they go out for win that particular match. So now pay as you go or play as you go. That's it. When they talk about a sustainable project, we know they say that bad, but a more manageable, a more beneficial, a more sustainable policy would be one that is sustainable over a long period of time, in which not only those that have enacted it now or who are part of the thought process, the think tanks, and etc., but those that come long after. Working as a manager or coach, it might be acceptable in Europe or North America, but in our part of the world where we come from, we know there's disrespect and there's massive corruption. And then players they outside where they come, they can bribe manager for let them play. And whereas you get people that we can equally play them position. So we try for do away with all of that. I think say this is not a concluding statement. We need for no say the game of sport, it get the power. I repeat, the game of sport has the power to inspire. It get the power for unite with people than most other thing does. This is why politicians, left, right, and center, like for capitalize on that. I repeat, the game of sport, it get the power for inspire. We saw it recently. It's not what they say, hearsay. It also get the power for unite with people. That mean unite with people. It mean people we get differences. And we saw this again. We had huge differences politically speaking. Those differences are back, and I will speak to them on Tuesday. But then, under the sports banner, during that period of euphoria of whatever the national team they go through, we are all united under one country, one people, one banner, one flag. But as soon as that moment they go, they will become divided again. This is what government needs to avoid. Government needs to be that vehicle where they create that cohesive measures there for we people. Sports can create hope. Sports can create hope. And hope at a particular point, place, position where there was despair. I remember the motto of Mighty Barrow, never despair. So the word despair, I understand them very well. And at that now been they say, all waiting on the go on despair. That sporting moment, they created hope for Sierra Leoneans. We all dance and sing. Nobody not be the member say, na SLPP now they hog, na APC now they hog, na NGC now they hog, na ADP now they hog, na COPP now they hog. No, it was Sierra Leonean for Sierra Leonean by Sierra Leoneans. That's what it was just a few days ago. Pretty soon, in fact, even now, is the memories that we are living with. And most people, that can't afford have gone back, yet to fending for themselves. So this is becoming a distant memory. Sports, this is not my last word, it's more powerful than government in breaking down social barriers which stand for inhibitory from rising up to we expectations, to the best of us. Sports is the only one that can do that. Papa, government, it shouldn't end here. It should continue. Support with programs, effective programs. Organize a review body. Organize an independent regulatory body. Take politics away, or at least reduce the politics. It does not have to be political. FIFA does not encourage that. It will only benefit us if you go that way. Ladies and gentlemen, I think I've said it all. I ask una again, una not forget this broadcast here tonight is also on YouTube. Simultaneously, if you go to a YouTube page, you go see it right now. It did it. So please don't forget for subscribe to our YouTube channel. Please, we are asking you. We are moving forward this 2022. We are moving forward this 2022. And we mean every word of it. Okay? Forgive me. This is not my favorite team na England. I mean Europe, AC Milan. So I'm donning my AC Milan vest. No regional. Yeah. Saw them play many times. So kind of affiliated with them somehow. Fambul and where they Vex, una write for Vex. But that vexation, they will not go can go na person in was way only make sacrifice. Then politician they way the thief, although I not go like foresee that. But if we get that energy there for go stone, vandalize an ordinary player in host because he let we down, then we should equally show that righteous indignation, that upset, that vexatiousness to the politicians. Then we're responsible for the predicament that we find ourselves in. Famulem, una join me on Tuesday when I will be coming with another edition in this new year, which I have titled, Is Our Politics Going Tribal? Or, after all, has it already gone tribal? On behalf of the Then and Now Media Empire, I've been your host and presenter, Prince Emil Kroma, coming to you today, the 23rd of January, Sunday, 2022. Can I take your leave now, humbly, please? Thank you very much. Much love. Sierra Leone.